Well, here's WB Workouts Garden Update. It's June 2nd and things are really going great here. Of course, amaryllises are still doing great. There's a lot of blossoms on them this year. They're just amazing. Had them for a really long time. And most of these were rescue bulbs. Bulbs other people didn't want, that they didn't know what to do with, and they gave them to me. So this is what I've done with them. Let's look at the rest of the yard. You can see that I've started to bring a lot of the potted plants out. I got the Norfolk pine under the umbrella so it doesn't get scorched. It has to kind of get used to being outside again. I may have to trim it back if we're going to move. It's really big. Here's the basil. Looks fantastic. Let's take a look at the back. It's really bright and sunny, as you can see. Here's the beautiful the pansies. Boy, they came out beautiful this year. These are just delightful. Back there in that bright area is the currants. They were huge, amazing. Let's take a look. You know, this used to, over here, we had a lot of flowers, but you know, they do fade. Those were spring flowers, the Scylla and the Siberian Skrill. They faded, and the glories of the snow. They were beautiful, and now I threw some poppy seeds in there, and they're going to grow later on. Here's some more fantastic pansies. They're just lovely. And back here, I finally got into the back here. It's still so bright. And I got my tomatoes in. So they're in, and I dug up a lot of the garlic, but there wasn't really much to harvest. So we'll see. We'll look back here another time later, but it's just so bright. Oh my goodness. Get around here. The alliums were beautiful, and now they've gone to seed, and they've been spreading all over. These were purple. You might remember these from the last video. These are going to go to seed, and they'll fade, and they'll look really good, you know, next year. You know, like my garden starts blooming in late March, early April, and continues all the way until November. Now, this is sort of a quiet time in the yard because right now we're in between the spring flowers and summer flowers. You can see all these lilies that later on are going to be just towers of flowers. And black-eyed Susans over here. And we have my dossier dogwood that eventually is going to bloom and produce white berries that the robins are going to really enjoy. They just love it. And here you see some more lilies. They're really tall. I did some re-landscaping this week, and it looks pretty good. I got things coming up in pots. I got my Jerusalem cherry, which is starting to fruit again, and all those little fruits will be orange. Here's my pineapple that I grew from the top of a pineapple. Of course, there's my rosemary that I've had for many years. It's still doing great. And up here, my little pansy box, and in between the pansies, I planted marigolds, and they all did really well. So this should look really beautiful. As the pansies fade, the marigolds will take their place. Got lots of lemon balm that I'm gonna have to harvest. It'll take over if I don't. Make some wonderful, lovely tea. My rose back here is coming back to life. I wondered what it was gonna do. It was, last year it didn't do much anything. So I gave it a few shots of fertilizer and some TLC and banana peels, and it's doing great. And of course, just as the peonies started blooming, it rained and it got windy. And no matter how much staking and cages you put up, they all pop down. I don't know why they breed them this way. They breed impossibly large flowers that grow on ridiculously thin stems. But they're still beautiful, and I picked some for a bouquet in the house. And as they fade, I'll cut them back, and it'll be fine. Let's take a closer look at them. They really are lovely, these white peonies. And there's a pink one in there, too. But they just flop over. You know, even though I have, you know, support. They grow impossibly tall on impossibly thin little stems. These huge, big flowers. Now you can see that it's, doesn't look like a lot's going on, but all these lilies and plants in here are going to be blooming later. So it's going to be a nice show. You can see all the alliums that went to seed. They look like plants from another planet, don't they? So anyway, thank you for visiting my garden. I hope you enjoyed my little visit. I hope that you can see that this garden has been changing and going through lots of different stages as we go into the year. So here is our backyard garden update. And let's take a look at two more things before we go. The first calla lily of 2016. Many more to come. And these lovely pansies are going to be the last thing we look at. Thanks for visiting. Have a lovely weekend. Take care of yourself and do something good for yourself and do something good for someone else. Thank you for watching.